أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
ایک رات مفاسد کی وہ تیرا اتار آئی، جو نور کی ہر مشعل ظلمات پہ وار آئی۔ تاریکی پہ تاریکی، گمراہی پہ گمراہی، ابلیس نے کی اپنے لشکر کی سفارائی۔ طوفان مفاسد میں غرق ہو گئے بحر و بر، ایرانی و فارانی، رومی و بخارائی۔ بن بیٹھے خدا بندے، دیکھا نہ مقام اس کا، طاغوت کے چیلوں نے ہتھیا لیا نام اس کا۔
It was an era of darkness that had prevailed over the whole of Arabia. No one was safe or content, and people lived in a state of daily chaos. The Kaaba that Allah had once destined for his own worship was now filled with idols, almost one for each day of the year. Battles based on feuds between tribes resulted in years of slaughter and innocent deaths. To be born a woman was considered a sin. Every day you could hear the cries of baby girls buried alive because their entry into the world was considered a curse on the family. Even those who did survive were doomed for life. Forced into marriage to corrupt men, they were denied all human rights. Even in widowhood, they would be shunned by society. Gambling, exploitation, deceit, dishonesty, all were embedded in the everyday lives of Arabian society. At this time of darkness and gloom, when the poor, the slaves, and the needy would look up to the skies and cry out, "Will no one come to help us?" Allah had mercy on them and sent the one who would bring great change to mankind. And so begins the most remarkable chapter in human history.
تب عرش معلا سے ایک نور کا تفت اترا، आज फरिश्तों की हमराह सवार आई। एक साथ नूरानी खुर्शीद से रोशन तर पहलू में लिए जलवे बेहदो शमार आई। काफूर हुआ बातिल सब जुल्म हुए ज़ाइल। उस शम्स ने दिखलाई जब शाने खुदा राई। इब्लीस हुआ गारत चौपट हुआ काम उसका। तौहीद की यूरश ने दर छोड़ा ना बाम उसका।
Somewhere in the household of the honorable family of Quraysh slept Amina, a bereft widow carrying the child of her late husband Abdullah. She was from the noble tribe of Banu Zohra, and he was the son of Abdul Muttalib. Merchants by profession, Abdullah often had to travel to neighboring countries. On his return from a trip to Syria, he fell ill and died in Medina, leaving behind his newly married bride and unborn child. As she slept, Allah showed her an amazing dream, a dream not just concerning her future, but the future of mankind. In this dream, it was pitch dark, and suddenly a brilliant, bright light emerged from her bosom and spread all over the world. It was extremely significant, for it bore glad tidings for the whole of mankind. The pitch dark in her dream symbolized mankind that was bereft of spiritual light. Civilization that had spread its branches across the world now stood threatened for survival, for it was rotten to the core. The light that she saw, emerging from her bosom, was Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, the son she would give birth to. Muhammad, the apostle of God, whose qualities and grand stature no one else in history would remotely match, and was destined to be the most powerful instrument of God for the revival of mankind.
आया वो गनी जिसको जो अपनी दुआ पहुंची। हम डर के फकीरों के भी बख्त संवार आई। ज़ाहिर हुआ वो जलवा जब उससे निगाह पलटी। खुद हुस्ने नजर अपना सौ चंद निखार आई।
Shortly after her dream of light, Hazrat Amna gave birth to a baby boy. Hazrat Muttalib, the grandfather, was given the great news of the blessed birth, and the child was named Muhammad, which means immensely praised. To give thanks for the birth of his grandson, Hazrat Muttalib carried baby Muhammad around the Kaaba. And so, the Holy Prophet of Islam was born. From then on, Allah bestowed his benevolence on all those who touched his messenger. One of the first was his nurse Halima. As was customary, she was employed to care for the baby till he was about 4 years old. Coming from an impoverished background, her situation changed to one of great prosperity as she raised the baby prophet in his formative years.
اے چشم خزاں دیدار کھل کھل کے سما بدلا اے فطرت خوابیدہ اٹھ اٹھ کے بہار آئی نبیوں کا امام آیا اللہ امام اس کا سب تختوں سے اونچا ہے تخت عالی مقام اس کا.
Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, was subjected to trial from a very early age. When he was only 6, his mother passed away, and then, after a few years, he lost his grandfather too. Alone again, he was put into the care of his uncle Abu Talib. He was a shy, quiet child who would be deeply affected by the poverty which he saw on his travels with his grandfather. He grew up into a man renowned for his kindness to relatives and his care for the poor and the needy. In Meccan society, he was known as Sadiq, the truthful, and Amin, the honest. His fair dealings made him well known amongst the trade community in particular. This is how Hazrat Khadija came to hear of him. Despite being 15 years his senior, she was so impressed by his character that she sent a proposal of marriage to him.
اللہ کے آئینہ خانے سے شریعت کی نکلی وہ دلہن کر کے جو 16 سنگھار آئی اترا وہ خدا کو ہے فاران محمد پر موسیٰ کو نہ تھی جس کے دیدار کی آرائی.
Muhammad believed in one God and was saddened by the idol worship which was rife in Mecca. He often retreated to a mountain cave called Hira, where he could be alone with his Lord, and sometimes several days would pass before he would return home. There, he would engross himself in prayer and meditation, and as a result, he experienced many dreams.
اس بام سے نور اترے نغمات میں ڈھل ڈھل کر نغموں سے اٹھے خوشبو ہو جائے سرود
When he was 40 years old, an extraordinary incident took place in the cave. With the command of God, the angel Gabriel visited the prophet and said, "Recite." Muhammad replied that he did not know how to recite. The angel insisted, and at last made the prophet recite the following verses. "Recite thou, in the name of thy Lord, who created man from a clot of blood. Recite, and thy Lord is the most beneficent, who taught man by the pen, taught man what he knew not." This is the first revelation that the prophet received. It has tremendous meaning. It commands him to proclaim the oneness of God, the creator of all men. When the prophet received this revelation, he was full of fear of the responsibility which God had decided to place on his shoulders. Hurrying home, he narrated the incident to his wife Khadija, saying, "Weak man that I am, how can I carry the responsibility which God proposes to put on my shoulders?" Khadija replied, "God is witness. He has not sent you this word that you should fail and prove unworthy, and that he should then give you up. How can God do such a thing, while you are kind and considerate to your relations? You help the poor and the forlorn, and bear their burdens. You are restoring the virtues that had disappeared from our country. You treat guests with honor and help those who are in distress. Can you be subjected by God to any trial?" This was the first of a long series of revelations spread over 23 years to descend on the master of all mankind, Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him.
एक रात मफासिद की